So today we're going to be doing a longer version of the restoration videos that you've seen already, and we're just going to be doing a nice sequence that's going to tie everything together, help you feel relaxed and of course restored. So it's a lot of just hanging out on the mat and some nice stretching and a little bit of activity as well, where we'll get things, just the blood flow going as well to help our bodies feel energized. So the first thing we're going to do is just going to lie down on the mat, get nice and comfortable. If you have a pillow, you can place a pillow underneath your head. You're going to lie down with your legs extended and your arms at your side, and you're just going to close your eyes or keep them open, but just softly gaze up at the ceiling. And we'll just start by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let the weight of your legs open the hips. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Feel the shoulders heavy away from your ears. One more big breath in and out. And we're going to start with a contract relax technique for the full body, and to get each muscle group to contract really tightly and then to let it go. And the really neat part about it is that if you squeeze as hard as you can on some of those muscles, then you let them go and they just feel so nice to be finally relaxed again. So we're going to scan the body, and we're just going to start from the feet. So let's take both of the feet, squeeze every muscle in your feet. I'm going to point my toes as hard as I can. Hopefully they don't cramp. Inhale, and on the exhale, let it go. And then I want you to squeeze your calf muscles. So for some people, this can be to pull the toes towards your nose, tighten the calf muscle, or you can point your toes again, squeeze that calf muscle, and release on an exhale, let it go. And working with the upper leg here, the thighs, the hamstrings, we're going to squeeze, maybe clench those bum cheeks as well, squeeze it all in, and then on an exhale, let it go. So now we're going to start at the fingertips. We're going to make fists and squeeze the hands as hard as you can. And exhale, let it go. And then squeeze the arm muscles, so the forearm, the biceps, the triceps, pull down on the shoulders, squeeze, they can hover off the floor, and exhale to release. And now maybe pull those shoulders up towards your ears as high as you can. Up, inhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on the exhale. Pull them down from your ears, open up through the shoulders. And we're going to move up into the face. So you're going to squeeze the face. And I'm going to sound really funny when I say breathe in. Squeeze the face as hard as you can. And let go on that exhale. And now we're going to squeeze the whole body at one time. When you're ready, squeeze right from the tips of your toes, pointing those toes, squeezing your fists. Shoulders are up by your ears. Squeeze the face. And then let everything go. Nice and heavy on the mat. It's also a nice little trick if you're having trouble sleeping. If you scan the body that way, it's very relaxing. Just takes out that extra tension that might be holding in the body. And from here, we're going to bend the knees. And at this point, if you do have a pillow under your head, just take that away. We're going to bring the knees in line with the hips and try to feel your feet flat on the floor with your heels in line with your sit bones. Your palms are going to be pushing down on the floor, stabilizing those shoulders, helping to open up the front of the body here. We're just taking tension out of the chest area. Now we're going to mobilize the spine. We're going to roll into our imprint, rolling through that low back, and then lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Take a nice inhale here at the top, and use the exhale to roll down through the spine, all the way back to your neutral position. So you have a nice natural curve in your lumbar spine. Inhale, exhale, roll through the spine, press up, reach those knees towards your toes. Try not to have an arch here in your spine, so that's exaggeration from me there. Try to bring the ribs in line with the hips, and on your next exhale, you'll roll down one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to neutral. Last time, use the exhale to roll up through the spine, lift, relax those ribs heavy, even though they're up in the air like gravity, relax them down. Your next exhale, you're going to roll each vertebrae down like a string of pearls all the way back to your neutral position. Now let's hug the knees in towards the chest. So we're doing some nice, gentle, loving motions today, just to restore your body, ease your mind. Great. So now hug the right knee in towards the chest. Reach the left leg long and hovering off the mat. Now, because both of your legs are off the mat, you want to go into that imprint position where your low back is hugging in towards the mat. If that's not comfortable for you, just bend this other knee. But we're going to straighten it out if you can. Then we're going to use an exhale to lift up, bringing that forehead towards the knee. Say towards, it does not have to touch. Bring those shoulders down and away from the ears. Let's squeeze up and then release back down. Bring the left knee in. Let's reach the right leg out if you can, or it's in tabletop position. Hugging that left knee. Use the exhale to lift your upper body, abs engage. Hold and squeeze that knee in towards the chest and bring that forehead towards your knees, reaching that other leg nice and long, and roll back down through the spine. Release the head. Bring that other knee in towards the chest. Nice breath in and out. Great. Let's bring the feet down to the floor. Your choice whether you want the legs to be extended again, if that's okay for your back, or if you want the knees bent and your feet are flat on the floor. We're going to focus on rotation of the head, and the neck. So we're just going to be releasing the muscles that attach the skull to the neck and just releasing tension out of the shoulders and the neck as well. So the first thing we're going to do is nod the chin a little bit, just looking down at your cheeks with your eyeballs and looking back up at the ceiling, just feeling that mobilization at the top of the neck and the bottom of the skull. Back to neutral. Feel length. Instead of just jamming the chin down, feel the length in the back of your neck instead. And looking back up at the ceiling, and try to stay heavy through those ribs, spine, rib cage. It's all kinds of tight right now, and it just wants to pop up towards the ceiling, even with those gentle head nods. It's amazing where our body tries to compensate and where there's tension that we just don't even think about. One more time, gentle nod of the chin. And returning back to neutral, not a full extension. You're not looking back over your head. And then we're going to add on from here and just do gentle rotation. So instead of imagining you're checking your blind spot, you don't want to really force this motion. I just like to roll along the base of the skull on that occiput and just rolling side to side just to my end range of motion without overdoing it. So I'm not engaging my muscles to force it further right or left. And we'll just do one more right and left here. Just kind of drawing a little rainbow on the ceiling as well. Back to your neutral position. Your head is heavy on the mat. And we're going to draw circles. So you're going to imagine there's a paintbrush on your nose, and you're going to trace the outline of your face on the ceiling. So you're going to do your circles in one direction 3 times. And remember, you're not really whipping the head around, just tracing the outline. Get a little chin tuck there, lengthening the back of your neck. That's my last one in the other direction. And I'm going to come back to my neutral. I'm going to sit up and we're going to do all fours, and we're going to be doing some cat stretch, which will feel lovely to mobilize the spine. So moving gently, just take your time, even pause the video if that's enough for you, then come back to this next sequence later. Let's set you up here for success, where you want to spread the fingertips, press down into the mat here. If this position is comfortable for you, of course. If it's not, have a seat and just watch what's going on here. I'm going to rotate my elbows towards the front of the mat. My head is going to look straight down at the mat itself. I don't need to look down at my knees and let my neck hang. So shoulders are down away from the ears. Let's inhale here to prepare. And then we're going to use the exhale. I'm going to lift my upper back up towards the ceiling. I will drop my head. I'm going to tuck my pelvis underneath me, engaging my abdominals, lengthening the back of my neck and my low back. Inhale here. Breathe in deep into the lungs. Inhale. And start the exhale by unraveling from the tailbone, doing your best to find one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders come down, and then your head can look into neutral. So you're still looking down at the mat. Your finishing position is not to look up ahead of you. Again, inhale, prepare. Use the exhale to round through the spine. Tuck that tailbone under, stretch that low back, press into the mat, stretching between the shoulder blades. And you know what? I just feel like my neck needs a little bit of movement here, so I'm just going to let it sort of rotate gently. A big inhale, and then I'm going to press my tailbone towards the other side of the room. And I will finish by looking down at the mat. One more time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, round through the spine. Tailbone tucks. Head is heavy, pressing away. Press away from the mat, and that helps take tension out of the wrists. Elbows forward, opening the shoulders. and come back to that neutral position where you unravel the spine and look down at the mat. Quick break here where you tuck back your bum towards your heels. Reach your hands out in front if that's comfortable for you. Soft bend in the elbows and lower your forehead to the mat. Spread the fingertips. Take every opportunity you can to find a little bit more stretch in those muscles, even in these common positions. And we're going to come back onto all fours. And we're going to knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, pressing away from the mat. Tuck the toes underneath you. And we're going to bring the knees up off the mat on your exhale. If you can, stay here on the inhale and hold. Use that exhale to come back down. Now, I did say it was nice and gentle motion, but we're going to bring a little bit of awareness to those abdominals. Exhale, lift up just off the mat, super small, just enough to feel that they're alive. We're bringing new blood flow to the area. Exhale, come down. Gets every piece of that nervous system firing to support you. Inhale to prepare. And use that exhale to lift the knees off of the mat. Stay supported through the arms. Try not to collapse through the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. The knees come down. Release back into that lovely shell stretch for Pilates people. And child's pose for the yoga people. Releasing that forehead. Then we're going to go off to the side of your mat. So we're going to focus the stretch into the side body. I'm going to bring one hand on top of the other. So I've gone to the left. My left hand is touching the floor, and then my right hand is going to touch on top. My right bum cheek is going to lean even further over to the right. So now I'm in this little like half circle shape, and I do want my head to be relaxed in this position, so I'm going to rest my head on my arm, but you can also prop yourself up with some pillows or a yoga block. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths into the right rib cage. Breathing in and out. And in and out. One more time. And out. Good. Coming over to the other side. So I'm walking my hands over to the right. I'm going to lean my left cheek, my bum cheek, over to the left. My right hand is on the floor. My left hand is going to come on top. And I'm just going to let my head rest on my arms. Relaxing here, stretching through the side body. Breathing in deep through the sides of the ribs. Two more cycles. And gently walk your hands back to the center. Engage your abdominals to help you roll back up and let your hands come back to the center. So because we've been on all fours as well prior to doing that lovely little stretch, we're just going to roll out the wrists, just a nice little check-in. And other way. And you know, don't just fluff it or faff it, as my British husband would say. Really roll those wrists around there. Really scoop out the edges, you know. Good. And then just reach the backs of your hands forward, fingertips down towards the floor. Stretch those shoulder blades apart. Imagine that you're pressing against a wall with the back of your hand. And then go the other way. So bring those hands up, fingertips go up towards the ceiling, shoulders are still down and away. And try to press your palms into that imaginary wall in front of you. Good. So we're going to bring ourselves down onto your side. It's nice again if you can have a pillow for your head. I'm going to steal this one. It's part of the decor. On your side, reaching both of the arms forward. Now in this position, if your hands are forward here, then they might be the same length, or one of them might be significantly shorter, right? And I want you to either bring them so that they are the same length, so the fingertips are touching, and then you're going to reach that top arm a little bit further. So that reach can come from your shoulder blades pressing forward, or it can come from a little bit of rotation through your upper back. When you're ready, we're going to take this top arm. We're going to draw a circle along the floor in front of us, over the head. Now at this point, the fingertips might come off. They may have come off a little bit earlier, and that's okay. I want you to keep reaching those fingers across the room. That's key. You can just flop the arm around, but then we're also going to start to rotate. And I got a nice lumbar release there. And just bring it all the way around. We're halfway towards the hip. Big circle, and come back to the hands together position. Going to go the other way now. So reach that hand nice and long as you can, reaching towards me, and then down on the floor, making that circle shape, reaching those fingertips away. So you're getting a nice stretch in the shoulders, and down by the hip. At a certain point, it's going to feel natural to rotate the shoulder open, and I want you to follow that. Reach those fingertips away up and over the head. If you don't have that range, that's okay. Just do what you can. Come across this way. That's totally fine. Eventually come back and bring your hands together. Now, from here, we're also going to stay on our side before we switch sides. We're going to do a little arm swing action. So you're just going to have the arm about shoulder height in front of you, and just very gently swing the arm up like this is 12 o'clock above my head, and then 6 o'clock at the hips. And I'm not going to be picky about how it moves. In fact, I want you to just let that momentum take it and feel the energy carry it up and down, and how there's just this invisible sensation of it floating and yet being supported. And just take your time there. Try and keep your head relaxed. My neck is getting a little excited. And one more, up and down. Lovely. A little bit of lower body work here. Stabilize with the top arm. Have your hand down on the mat as well here with like a goalpost pose or a cactus pose. Both of the knees are going to start bent. Bottom leg stays bent. Stretch out the top leg and have it about hip height. And then just like you freestyled with the arm, just forward kick and back. And I'm going to say, yes, the low back might rock around a little bit here. Do your best to control it, but also just go with the range that you have and what feels good. So I want you to find those little edges of the movement where you can feel a little bit of stretch, a little bit of ease, and you're just moving back and forth here. I'm not even counting, and if you know me, even if I would probably lose count at a certain point. So let's just finish off here, bring the leg back, and then we'll do all of that on the other side. Rolling onto the other side. And coming down into that side lying position, right back to the hands together, same length. And then reach that top arm a little bit further. You're going to start by going over the head. So you're going to reach those fingertips along the floor. Use your spine to rotate you and take that arm open as well. Reaching out to the side. Remember, those fingertips are reaching across the room. A little lumbar adjustment on this side as well. By the hips. And bringing it back to the center. Other way, reaching those fingertips forward, coming down along the floor, rolling yourself open, and reaching those fingertips over, letting the tissue stretch and float back to where your hands can meet again. Those little arm swings, right? So about shoulder height, reach up to 12 o'clock as high as you can, down towards your hips. Nice and easy. The breath can be whatever feels good for you. So we're taking a nice inhale, exhale down. Or you can take an exhale up, inhale down. Wherever you are, do 2 more and 1 more. Great. Bring yourself to stabilize your bottom arm in that goalpost position. Top arm supports you here. That top leg is going to straighten about hip height, and then just freestyle kick forwards and backwards. And I usually get pretty picky about where the leg stays for the height, but again, we're just creating some movement and just enjoying that momentum and just playing with it. And 1 more forwards and backwards, and bring those knees back together. And now we're going to go onto our stomach. So now we're going to go onto our stomach, and we'll take that pillow away, and we're going to do a nice stretch for the upper back and for the shoulders, and we'll just fire up those upper back muscles as well. So let's bring your legs. So press down with your feet onto the floor gently. If it's comfortable for you to press those feet down in a parallel position where your knees are pointing down, then do that. If it's more comfortable for you to open the feet and have your hips do the opening for you, then that's fine. Your feet might be as wide as the yoga mat. Your nose is going to come down to the mat. Now, if you need more support, right, grab a pillow and you can place that underneath your forehead. Okay? And we're going to go through that nice breaststroke prep here. Breaststroke prep 3. So you're going to have your hands down. Your nose is going to be touching the mat. The first thing you're going to do is take an inhale. Bring those shoulder blades up and away from the mat. Your nose is still touching the mat though. And then you're going to lift your upper body. On the exhale, reach your fingertips towards your feet. Inhale here, feel long through the spine. And lower back down. Great. Nose is on the mat. Bring those shoulder blades together as you inhale. Shoulders also down and away from those ears. Lift the head off of the mat. Reach for your feet. Inhale here, lengthening the spine, and use that exhale to let everything come down back to the mat. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, bring those shoulders up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And pretend that your face is in water right now, and then you lift your face just out of the water. Reach those fingertips towards your feet. Inhale here. And exhale to lower down. Okay, one more time. Bring those shoulders up on the inhale. Exhale, reach for the feet. Inhale here. And exhale to release all the way back down. Now I'd like you to bring your hands just underneath your face here, maybe onto your cheek to support you. You're going to bend both of your knees so your feet are up towards the ceiling, but your thighs are still heavy on the mat. Now we're going to do a little windshield wiper stretch here on our stomach where the feet drop side to side, just very gently. A small release on the low back. Good. Breathing is probably the best thing that you can do through this whole video. And one more time each side. And bring yourself back into another shell stretch because that will help your low back stay relaxed. There's no tension in that upper back. Great. Rolling up through the spine again. And then we're going to come onto our back. And steal one of these pillows again and place that underneath my head. And from here, we're going to do a nice lengthening stretch. So nice and relaxed here on the back. Feet are flat on the mat to start off with. I want you to reach the right leg long along the floor. The left leg still stays bent. Reach that leg as long as you can, like somebody's pulling on your big toe, and then gently lift that leg off of the floor and lower it back down. Bend that knee in. We're going to go to the left side. Reach that leg away. Now the other key is that you don't just allow that pelvis to go with the leg. You want to stay in neutral as much as possible. So you've reached that leg away. Now reach it even further, like somebody's pulling it out of the hip. Use the exhale to lift up just off the floor. Place it down and draw it back in. Now one arm overhead, reach it over the head. Try to keep the ribs relaxed as much as you can. Once you hit your end range, then reach those fingertips as far away as you can, reaching across the room, and bring them back up and down by your side. The left arm, thumb is leading the way, reaching up and overhead. Reach, reach, reach. And then once you hit your end range for the arm lift, and then you're going to reach those fingertips even further away from you. So that shoulder is reaching across the room. The fingertips are reaching. Lengthen, lengthen, and then come all the way back down to your side. I think I had a little bit of a New Zealand accent there. And then we're going to go on to the opposite leg and the opposite arm. So the right arm is going to reach overhead as the left leg also reaches. not overhead, but away. Now, when you've reached the end range of both of those points, use your exhale to lift the left leg and reach those right fingertips far away from the body. Reach and squeeze, just like we did at the beginning, that contraction technique. Abs are engaged here to hold the leg. Lower down the leg, bring the leg in, bring the hand up towards the ceiling, and then lower down towards the floor. All of that with the right leg and the left arm. Reaching that right leg long, left arm goes overhead. Once you hit the end range, stay neutral in the pelvis. Lift that left leg, exhale, reach those fingertips far and away from the body. Nice stretch and contract here. Pull, and then lower the leg. Bring the hand up towards the ceiling and down towards your hip as that right leg draws in. Now we're going to go on to hip release. So we're going to take the right leg. You're going to gently drop the leg out to the side. And you want to do this with control. You don't want to just drop the whole body over to the side, nor do you want to just let the left side do what it pleases. You want to control that right side, drop it down. Then I want you to straighten out that right leg, but it's also slightly rotated open towards the ceiling. Now you're going to rotate it towards the midline. So you're rotating that hip inwards, that toes are going towards the center, and then you're going to drag this leg back in. Left side, gently drop it out and opening up those hips here, and then you're pressing it out and rotating back in. And now drag it all the way back in with control. One more time each side. Right leg drops out, press it away. Rotate in and drag it back in. Left side, drop away. Reach, rotate, and drag it back in. Lovely. So after we've done our hip release, we're going to just march in place here with the feet. Now we really want to articulate through the feet. So you want to lift the heel, feel the arch come off of the floor, lift the ball of the foot, and then the toes just float off the mat. And then reverse, so the toes come down, press through the ball of your foot, through the arch until your heel touches down. So you could just lift the foot off of the floor, but we want to just really melt through those movements. The left side, lifting the heel, gently coming through the arch of the foot, lifting onto the ball of the foot, and then we lift the toes off. We're going to put the toes down first, press through the ball of your foot, arches, then the heel comes down. Let's speed that up just a little bit. So on the right side, peeling that foot off and pressing it back down. Left, peel, lift, and lower down. Trying a little bit reciprocal, so just as you're putting the right down, that left is peeling off, and vice versa. So you're just turning this into a little flow where you're trying to articulate through the feet, which we don't do near enough anymore because our feet live in shoes. And one more time on the left. Great. I want you to imprint the spine, so you're going to bring that low back down towards the mat. You're going to bring your legs into tabletop position, holding that imprint. Knees are going to come together, and you're going to drop the heels down towards the bum. Just nice and relaxed here. All I want you to do is drop the feet heavy onto the mat. So of course, in the last exercise, I was telling you to move them very gently. And now I want you to just drop both of the feet hard down on the mat. If you have neighbors downstairs, do it gently. And then make sure you have something soft underneath your feet before you do this as well. Just drop those feet. Feel the vibration flow up through your body. Again, imprint the spine. Lift the legs into tabletop position. Let the feet dangle down towards your bum. No tension where it doesn't need to be. And then when you're ready, let out a nice exhale. Drop those feet. And one more time. Bringing yourself into imprint. Lift the feet off of the floor. When you're ready, take a nice inhale. Use the exhale to drop those feet. Good. And just sit there in that tension-free state for a moment. It's nice to stimulate the bottoms of the feet that way. Okay, so now we're going to come up to a seated position. We are closing everything down. So coming into a cross-legged position if it's comfortable for you. And if this is too close, bring the feet just out in front of you. Or you can also help your hips out, sit up. This one's a bit squishy, but you want to sit on something a little bit higher. That's going to help your hips relax and let you allow the pelvis to roll forwards. Let's lengthen through the spine, and then we're going to do a nice spine twist. So I'm going to reach my right arm behind. The left hand is going to touch my right knee. And I'm just going to gently allow a little bit of pressure on those 2 points to rotate my spine. And I'm not going to rotate my head all the way over my shoulder there. I'm just going to let it go where it's comfortable with no tension. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths in this position. Inhale and exhale. Nice inhale and exhale. One more time. Those shoulders stay down and away from those ears when you do take that inhale. And use the exhale to come back to the center. And rotating to the other side. The left hand is going to come behind. The right hand is going to touch the outside of the left knee. And we're going to use this position to rotate the spine. So let's check in with the rib cage. If you're trying too hard to rotate and those ribs are flaring, just take it back a little bit. Right? So the hand doesn't have to come all the way behind the back. Just finding a twist that's right for you here. I'll just relax my own ribs here. And 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale to feel length through the spine. And the exhale, release. Let's come back to the center. Thank you for joining me for this video for part of the Calm in the Chaos series. I hope you enjoyed it, even if you just breathed through the exercises, or even if you just watched me. Then that is totally fine. What's most important is that you took this time for yourself, and that is very rare these days. So that is incredible, and you're awesome for doing that. We hope to see you again soon, and until next time, stay strong.